The opinions and views expressed in the following program are those of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and Your Sports Network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? But can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow the road. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
Hello, everybody. Welcome inside Monday episode of Running Point on ysnlive.com. Brought to you, as always, by our good friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. Like I always do, going to pop them in the top right-hand corner of your screen so you always know where to go. Oops. If you were in the market for a new or used vehicle, make sure to check out Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. They go the extra mile for you, so you don't have to. We try to do the same here on this show every single day, and we're going to continue to do so throughout the next couple months this summer. It's going to be a fun kind of period of Running Point, because while we do have plenty of new guests planned out, and we are going to have a lot of fun with some people that are making the local scene proud. We're gonna be talking to a lot of different people throughout the next couple weeks as we gear up to get into the fall sports previews, which will start very, very soon. But we also want to take the next couple weeks in the month of July as we gear up for the next high school sports season to kind of recap the season that was, the school year that was, and we want to get reflective a little bit and go into the vault. So throughout the next couple of weeks, not only will we have new guests coming on Running Point, and we'll have great conversations with new guests that will give us great local content, we're also going to dive into the vault a little bit in the next couple of weeks and go into some of the great interviews that we've been able to conduct over the last months, over the last school season. So we're going to do that in chronological order. We'll play some great fall sports interviews for you that we've been able to do for that. Then we'll go into winter. Then we'll kind of recap the spring, and then we'll jump from that into the fall sports previews of 2023. But like I said, we're also going to keep having new guests on Running Point as well. We will conduct great interviews. We have some great ones planned, trying to get dates now nailed down. So I'm not going to kind of reveal who we have coming on in the next couple of weeks, but definitely some exciting guests that are in the work over the next couple of weeks as well. So it's going to be a fun month of July on Running Point. Obviously, we'll have no show tomorrow because of the holiday, but then we'll be back on Wednesday with Scotty, and we'll continue to have some fun throughout the week. But we are also, I should say, going to recap stuff that's still going on. We still have Little League softball districts to be decided, and then still trekking along. They're navigating rain, of course. It was supposed to be we're supposed to have both championships set by now, but rain over the weekend kind of put that into a damper. We're a lot closer in 12U. 12U, we just have one game to decide before we will go into who is going to be in the championship series. Saturday morning, they tried to finish Austintown versus Howland, but those two teams went back and forth. And in the top of the sixth inning, after Howland and Austintown are tied at 3-3 after 5, they go to the top of the sixth. Austintown scores a run. They're on a roll, but here comes the rain. Unfortunately, before the rain even got there, lightning was in the vicinity. They got the lightning warning, got everybody off the field, and then as we were waiting for the lightning warning to expire, about 10 or 15 minutes later, here came the thunderstorms with the pour down rain. Saturday got completely washed out. Sunday got completely washed out. So we're still waiting to see who's going to win that 12U winners bracket I should say 12U losers bracket final between Austintown and Howland. It was a great game, which is why it's so heartbreaking that it wasn't able to get finished in time, because it was back and forth the whole game. It was back and forth, tied up at 1 for a long time. Then Howland took a 3-1 lead. Then Austintown tied it up at 3. And then it came up to Austintown taking a lead in the top of the 6th. Howland was trying to make sure it stayed just a 1-run lead. And before they could finish their defensive inning, of course, the rain and lightning came, and they're going to have to resume that game on Wednesday, which will be at 5 o'clock. They're going to resume that game on S1. The winner of that will have to go and play in the championship game 1 on S2 at 8 o'clock. And then if they're able to win that game, they would come back the next day and play again. If Boardman wins on Wednesday, they just go right to the championship. That's it. They're done. They win the championship. So that'll be fun to see who can kind of go through some adversity like that. It's Wednesday at 5, they'll finish the Austintown Howland game. And then Wednesday at 8 o'clock, it'll be the 12U championship series. We'll talk a little bit about how Boardman got there, because we weren't able to recap that because there was no show on Friday. So that happened on Thursday night. So we'll talk a little bit about how Boardman got there. But first, I want to kind of also give the update on the 10U, which is a little bit more up in the air, because they were supposed to have this like finish on Sunday and have a championship set for Wednesday by Sunday. But obviously the rain kind of dulled that. So in 10U, they did get their winner's bracket game in. It was a quick game because it was a pitcher's duel. Canfield won 2-0, so Canfield goes into that championship. But they still have to play the games that were originally scheduled for Sunday today, and that is Poland versus Boardman, which is a elimination game between Boardman and Poland, which will be like, I believe the losers bracket semifinal, and then South Range and Struthers still have to play each other tonight as well. Both those games are going to be at 6 and 8 on S2 if the weather holds up. I know it rained even more this morning, so we'll have to sit and wait on how field conditions are doing down there for that. But that's supposed to happen tonight. And then it's supposed to set up Wednesday at 6 o'clock on S2, Canfield versus Austintown, which would be basically the winner's bracket championship, I believe. And then also on Wednesday at 8 o'clock on S1, they're going to have the winner of South Range and Struthers versus the winner of Poland and Boardman to decide who goes on to play the loser of Canfield versus Austintown for a chance to play the winner of Canfield Austintown in the championship. All got really confusing because of the rain, of course. But that's where we sit right now, where all those teams are vying for a spot. 12U is set for a championship on Wednesday at 8 o'clock on S2 between Boardman and either Austintown and Howland. And, of course, like I said before, that game still up in the air. Austintown leading 4-3 in the top of the 6th. And that game will be finished at 5 o'clock on S1 on Wednesday. So let's go and rewind a little bit to Thursday night and talk about how Boardman got themselves into this championship game, just one win away from a trip to the state tournament. And one of the things that really stuck out to me on Thursday in Boardman's approach, and I loved it, because everyone came into this game expecting a pitcher's duel, expecting both pitchers to be on their A game, and they were. Both pitchers were really firing on all cylinders. Mealy Hamley from Austintown is a great pitcher, has multiple pitches that can beat you. Watching her warm up, I mean, I saw her throw a rise ball, I saw her throw a curve ball, I saw her throw a screwball, I saw her throw a changeup, and she can also just hit you with a fastball too. So, I mean, 5 pitches at 12U is pretty dang impressive. Now, they weren't all refined. I'm not saying that she's going to throw all of them with extreme command. I think her rise ball looked like it was still like in that development stage where she can throw it. It moves a little bit, but in reality, right now, it's still at the stage of being kind of a glorified fastball, high fastball. But it's still right there. It's in the development stage, which is impressive for someone at her age. So she's throwing really well. But Boardman comes into this game with a really good approach in the first inning, especially of we're going to be aggressive early in the count. We're going to make her come into the strike zone early, and then we're going to take advantage of it. And 4 pitches into the game, 4 pitches, the bases were loaded for Boardman. They had a single. They had actually 2 singles, a hit by pitch. Boom, like that in 4 pitches. Taylor Watts took a first pitch single. Davies got a single in 2 pitches, and then coming out, I think on their lineup, there's so many players. The next hitter after Davies came up and got hit by a pitch. So in a blink of an eye, 4 pitches in, boom, it is bases loaded, and Mila Hamley trying to just limit the damage. And she did really well at that. I mean, 3 runs given up when you have a bases loaded, nobody out situation is pretty impressive in to say the least. Austintown came back and scored in the first inning. Micasell drove it in. And Annabelle Micasell, who, by the way, won the home run derby as well. So congratulations to her. I wasn't surprised. She hit her first career over the fence home run earlier this month in her travel ball, so wasn't too shocked that she was starting to really flex her power muscles. She drives in the run, so all the runs in this game end up being scored in the first inning. After that first inning, it was Davies, it was Hamley just lighting up the scoreboard. Hamley finished with 13 strikeouts. Davies finished with 8. Neither team really let much of anything after that, but just like the day before, Boardman got a little bit nervous in the bottom of the 6th. Austintown has their best chance to tie the game. They have 2 runners in scoring position. The game tying run on second, the part of the order that they want up, because the bottom of the order actually went and did their job. They got on base. Lily Petrilla came up and got a really good single out of the bottom of the order to set up the top. But Emma Davies really locked down, got a couple of big outs in the top of the order, and was able to get out of that game without giving up the game time run, obviously, and winning 3-1. So Boardman goes right into the championship, and then Austintown had to come and have that quick turnaround. That game finished at 9:30-ish on Thursday and on Friday, I should say, and Austintown had to come back on Saturday morning at 10 a.m. and play an elimination game against Howland, who had the day off because of a forfeit. So it was impressive to see Austintown come back and have a really good chance to win that game up 4-3, because that's a quick turnaround against a team that is well rested. So to see them come up and deal with that quick turnaround, deal with the fact that they didn't have every player on the roster because of travel. This rain and weather and pushing everything back, it's nobody's fault because no one controls the weather, but it has really devastated this whole balance of the little league teams and the travel teams. And I know at the surface, and this is something that I was saying originally, it was, why would you miss, this once in a lifetime opportunity to win a district, go to state, win a state for travel? But what is easily forgotten is that these travel schedules are planned in advance. And if you're on a team that is traveling somewhere, like for my travel team was in Pittsburgh, a lot of these younger travel teams were in Pittsburgh this weekend, Orville, et cetera, you are planning ahead to stay there. You have a hotel set, you pay a lot of money for these travel weekends, and as unfortunate as it is, I mean, it makes logical sense to just say, we're going to miss one travel game as a 12-year-old that really doesn't amount to much. We're not getting scouted at 12 years old anymore. We're going to miss it to go in a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity in Little League softball. But the dark side of that coin is you lose a lot of money doing that. And that's something that I didn't think about, of course. Someone had to like put the reality in front of me that, like, yeah, but other side of the tracks, these travel weekends are planned in advance, just like the Little League schedule is, and they're working around this Little League schedule to say, hey, we're going to travel here, we're not going to be there, and because of the weather, because of pushing everything back, unfortunately, these parents and these young people are going to have to we're going to have to make a lot of hard decisions on, do we come and give ourselves to these little league teams, or do we and maybe lose a lot of money in the process, or do we go to travel and have to miss that game? And it's not something, I'm not going to tell anyone what to do in that situation, because it gets really murky when talking about that. But it's definitely a reality that some of these teams won't have their roster, won't have the roster at full strength because of the way that the rain has pushed the schedules back. So that was interesting to see all weekend, see how teams navigated that. I know all the coaches were pretty frustrated. You could definitely feel the tension in some of these coaches' meetings and the warm-ups, for sure. But overall, it's still really good softball happening at the Field of Dreams, and hopefully that continues on to Wednesday when we have Championship Wednesday on YSN. I will be down there at 6 o'clock for the 10U, and I will be down there as well as for the 12U Championship at 8 o'clock following, both on S2. Should be exciting. They're not decided yet, so I can't really promote who's going to be playing in it, but I can promote that we will be there no matter who gets to the championship series. And it'll be a fun time at the Field of Dreams on Wednesday night. We want to also recap a little bit of what happened at Scene Park, even though not a lot was able to go down. But like we said on Thursday, there are some Class B games that had to be pushed to the weekend, and I think some of them definitely were able to get in. And then obviously there was also this Bob C. Memorial Tournament that went on down there. They got a little bit of some games in, some games couldn't get in. And those final scores can be found on our social media pages for the games that did get in. But as we go to 18U and we go to the game schedule, 18U also will be in action tonight as well. We want to go to Friday, the 30th, which there were 7 games to be played. And we're going to kind of quickly recap some of them. Here's, I'm going to share the screen so you can see what I'm looking at, really. I have to look at my face looking at the computer. That's boring, right? So let's pop in the Class B website on your screen. And then let's go for it. Let's go for it, right? Let's see what went down on Friday. This was the only day that really got a full slate of games in. As Eagleware and Athletics played 12-1. Athletics gets the win here. Let's just look at how the breakdown of scores. Athletics scored 3 in the second, 4 in the fourth, 4 in the fifth, and that's how they get to a 12-1 victory. The pitching was the big idea because obviously Billy Skirpak on the mound pitching phenomenally. 4 innings pitched. He gave up no runs on 3 hits, struck out 6. No shocker there that Skirpak knows how to pitch for the Athletics, and he shuts down the Eagleware offense with 1 run allowed, and none of them were earned. We see a good one between the Prospects and Dura Edge as Prospects wins 2-1. This was a rain out from June 26th. An important one in the standings as Prospects gets the win 2-1. As you can see, 1 run in the top of the 8th to win it in extras over Dura Edge. Both pitchers did really good as Britt Taylor got no, I'm sorry. That's the I don't know why they have manager Britt Taylor as pitching. Britt Taylor does not pitch for Prospects, but it was Alex Stowe that got the win from Lakeview and on the mound for Prospects, going 7 innings, giving up just a 1 run on 2 hits, striking out 9. But they did walk 12 hitters as a team, which they were able to escape that, which is not something you usually see. Usually, if you walk 12 hitters as a unit, you're not going to win too many games, but they were able to win in extras. Devin Doherty got the loss, even though he only pitched in that 1 inning. Ethan Fiesel got the bulk of the innings, pitching all 7 of regulation. He gave up the 2 earned runs, 4 hits, and then he struck out 4. So The run that won the game, although it came with Devin Doherty on the mound, it was not earned to him. Obviously, no runs on no hits for him with pitching. 1 RBI on the day for prospects, and it came from Nick Kyprano. I am going to botch that name, and I apologize so much to you, Nick, on that. And then Dura Edge, they got no RBIs, but the one run they scored came from Joey Fell from Champion as he went 1 for 2 with a run scored. So a pitcher's duel in that one. Prospects comes out on top, and they beat Dura Edge 2-1. We saw the Avalanche win over Ballistics 8-7. Astro Falcons beat Dura Edge 12-0. Then they beat the Prospects 7-4. Nightline beat Creekside 8-4, and Avalanche beat Whiting 6-4. Like I said, only one game happened on Saturday. We'll quickly look at that score for you here, as it was Nightline beating the Athletics 11-6. That was a rain out from earlier in the week. Nothing happened on Sunday because of the rain. Let's look at the standings in 18U. Astro Falcons 22-1. They're still well into first place. Whiting is 15-8. They have a 1.5 game lead over Nightline for second place. Avalanche right behind Nightline at 13-10. Athletics is now 12-12. Creekside 11-11. Ballistics 11-12. And Prospects is 10-13. So you still have a lot of congestion there between the middle of these standings. There is going to be, one game tonight, I believe, if I saw right, on Monday the 3rd. Let's see what's going to be happening tonight. It is going to be Creekside Fitness versus Eagleware. This is a makeup from June 16th. It'll be on Scene 2 at 8:15 tonight. Let's take a look at 16U and what they were able to do over the weekend, what things changed for them. They didn't play over the weekend, obviously. They have games tonight, 3 games tonight: Athletics and Nightline, Creekside and Whiting, and then Astro Falcons and Prospects. Let's take a look at the standings as we gear up for tonight's games in 16U. Creekside with a 1-game lead over the Avalanche and a 1.5 game lead over the Astro Falcons. Avalanche sitting at 16-6. Creekside at 16-4. Astro Falcons are 14-5. The Whiting is 14-6. Then the Athletics are 10-10. Prospects 9-11. Dura Edge 7-13. Ballistic is 6-15. Nightline 5-15, and then Eagleware rounding out the standings at 4-16. So 3 games on there tonight. They'll also have 6 games tomorrow to round out their regular season schedule. Let's look at who's going to be on the call tonight for the games at a glance. Let's see who will be down there at scene, as we have let's see. Derek Rhodes is going to be on the call on scene 3. Eric Hughes is going to be on scene 2. And Noah Ricks is going to be on scene 1. So that's going to be where we stand for Class B baseball tonight, as we'll have 1 18U game and 3 16U games, and then 1 more 14U storyline as the championship series starts tonight. That'll also be on YSN as we look. Championship game 1 will be Astro and Avalanche, and then game 2 will happen at 8 o'clock. So game 1 and 2 happening tonight at 5:30 and 8 o'clock on scene 3. And once again, if we look on the spreadsheet, scene 3 will be Derek Rhodes on the call for those two championship games of the championship series between Astro Falcons and Avalanche in 14U. We are going to take a break and be back with more Running Point on ysnlive.com, brought to you as always by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. Back in a bit.
21 News delivers the news as it happens, using the latest technology from where it happens.
Live here outside the Mahoney County.
On air, online,
Wednesday afternoon weather update.
Very dangerous.
and on the 21 News social media platforms.
I'm on the road right now.
21 News, the Valley's only locally owned source for trusted news since 1953.
As fine as the eye can see, the finest hardwoods from the finest trees. Made for your home and within your means, Baird Brothers will help fulfill your dreams. Let life and light come shining through in quiet morns. And heavy traffic, too. Find your easy-to-afford fine hardwood floors and doors and more at BairdBrothers.com.
Every customer has a story, and at Greenwood Chevrolet, we are committed to making sure it ends with you in the right vehicle. I get to be part of somebody's adventure, whether it's buying a car for the first time, helping them get approved, or finding the perfect car for their budget. I'm proud that people trust me with their finances. They trust me to take care of them, and they trust me with their story. I'm Tracy, and I'm ready to go the extra mile for you only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Locally owned and operated, Sheely's relaxed shopping experience means browsing and lounging is always encouraged.
Find Flex Deal and more at Sheely's Furniture and Appliance, because the best things in life happen at home.
How lucky are we to have not one, but two 18-hole Donald Ross Championship golf courses right here in our backyards. Mill Creek Golf Course was selected by Golf Week as one of America's 30 best municipal courses, continuing to challenge golfers of all levels and featuring golf instruction by PGA professionals, a state-of-the-art practice range, a PGA of America recognized pro shop, kids programs, and a relaxing grill room for a memorable golf experience. For more information or to schedule a tee time, visit millcreekmetroparks.org.
Fall is in the air. The kids are back to school, crowds are cheering for the home team, and Myers Family Insurance is prepped for another crazy Medicare season. Every year there's changes, some big, some small, so it's important to have a conversation to make sure your plan is going to meet your expectations for the coming year. Give our team a call today to schedule your annual review.
For all your Medicare needs, call Myers Family Insurance or visit us on the web. Check us out online at MyersFamilyINS.com.
Going from mindful to mindful sometimes requires a helping, healing hand. Insight Clinical Counseling and Wellness offers a continuum of mental health and wellness care. At Insight, we're changing the way you receive counseling and wellness services with experienced licensed clinicians and expertly trained wellness staff. With 4 locations in Mahoning and Columbiana County, along with telehealth services, Insight offers clients quick access to care when they need it. Transform your mental health and wellness at Insight Clinical Counseling and Wellness.
Welcome back to Running Point on ysnlive.com, brought to you as always by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. And they go the extra mile for you, so you don't have to. We try to do the same here on this show every single day. Just got done talking about all the stuff that happened over the weekend with Little League softball and Class B baseball. Going to be an exciting week with championships and playoffs starting in Class B, and then obviously the championships for the District 2 Little League softball tournament as well. I can't wait for all that to go down on Wednesday. But as I also said at the top of the broadcast, this month of July, we're also on Running Point going to be kind of reflecting, diving into the vault a little bit, and bringing out some interviews that we had over the year that have been really good, and some great athletes that we have been able to highlight over the year before we start previewing the next sports season. That'll start towards the end of July into the beginning of August when we start to preview football, volleyball, and all the other fall sports. But for now, we're going to jump into kind of the vault of Running Point and dive into some of the great interviews that we've been able to conduct this sports season. We're going to kind of go in chronological order, do a couple of fall ones, highlight a couple of winter ones, go into spring as well. Before we jump into the previews of the next high school sports season, we'll also have plenty of more new guests on Running Point. Promise you that this is not just going to be a rerun month. So if you're still wanting to stay tuned for new guests, please do that. We are definitely having plenty of guests in the works, but we're also going to jump into the vault a little bit and show you some great athletes that we were able to highlight over this school season. We're going to start today, go back to fall sports, go to the 2022 volleyball MVP on YSN. It is Jocelyn Jordan from Austintown Fitch. We had a great chance to talk with her many times over her Austintown Fitch career, and she will be continuing her career this season at Youngstown State University as a member of their volleyball team. Picked up the jersey number 4, and she'll be a Penguin. But before we, cheer for her at YSU, let's reflect and go dive into the vault and hear what Jocelyn Jordan said this year about her volleyball season and career at Austintown Fitch. Here's Jocelyn Jordan, the 2022 YSN MVP for volleyball. Anthony Hartwig here with a Fitch volleyball player profile, the first one of the season, and we are joined by senior Jocelyn Jordan. Jocelyn, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you for having me.
And here we go. It's your last ride as a Fitch Falcon, and everything's probably going to be bubbling over. The emotions you've had your first game of the season. What kind of emotions have been kind of in your mind for the last couple of weeks as you prepare for this last season?
It's been bittersweet, and at first I was just so uptight about it, oh my god, this is my last year, and I've just started learning more, just to enjoy every single moment. And I've been trying to make every single practice, every time I'm with the girls, just everything the best it can be.
You have become a homegrown name in the Fitch community. I think everyone knows your name from the Fitch fans. What's it been like kind of the last couple years in this volleyball program, getting the success that you've been able to get as a team?
I'm just so grateful for all the girls I've played with. Every single team has been such a great team chemistry and everything. And I'm just blessed for all the opportunities I've got and the way that Coach Bartlett has run our program.
You've already broken a couple records. So coming into this season, what were some personal goals that you have set for yourself?
I definitely want to get 1,000 kills before playoffs start. And then I'm going to try and re-break my record from last year of kills in a game and maybe kills in a season.
When you look at some of the faces on this team, a lot of new faces that you guys have to play with. You lost a pretty good senior class last year. What's it been like being a leader on this team and seeing new players step up in new positions?
I love it. I just love seeing these girls get more comfortable every day and being able to be themselves. I think that's a big thing I try and stress on our team is always be yourself, always speak up when you feel like something's wrong. And I love watching these girls grow into the players that they've been becoming.
What kind of things do you kind of do as a leader? How would you define your leadership qualities?
I try and make sure they know that they're not alone. And if they ever need anyone to talk to, I'm right here. Before games, if I see someone's off or needs I could tell they want someone to talk to, I'll go up to them and be like, hey, what's up? What's wrong? And after a mistake, I'll reassure them, you got the next one. And always try and talk on the court as much as I can and be there early to practices, always on time.
Who were some of the upperclassmen in your past that kind of showed you how to be a leader?
My childhood best friend was Kate McGuire, and she graduated going into my junior year. And she was just such a great role model for me. Like, she was nice to everybody. Everyone likes her. She's such a kind girl. And we would be the first ones to practice every single morning. We would get there probably like 20 minutes early, and like that whole group of girls going into my junior year who graduated, like Chelsea Wheeler, Emma, Ulyssa, all of them, they were all just such great role models and always made sure I felt included. So I try and stress that upon the younger generations coming in high school now.
I mean, you were in a lot of these players' shoes not too long ago when you stepped onto the floor as an underclassman and you had to make an immediate impact. So how much of that experience do you lean on when you're trying to show them how it's done?
Yeah, I definitely like understand how it feels. So like whenever I could tell like they're starting to get nervous or something, I'll be like, it's okay. No one's going to be mad at you for a mistake. You got the next one. Like, and I always make sure they feel included. Like, I'll try and text them and just like be their friend and know that they have me.
We know that your summers are filled with elite volleyball. You play in one of the premier club teams in America, and we've seen you at Division I camps. How much do you think that kind of experience helps you grow as a player?
It makes me see things from all kinds of different perspectives, and I think that's a great characteristic to have, because I'm never just seeing something from my point of view. I always think about how it'd be from someone else's point of view. And all those like playing with the elite players I've played with, the coaches I've like played with, it makes me like understand the game better and understand like what we have to do to make my team better.
If you had to kind of pick one part of the game that experience and those games with your club team has really helped you grow in, what would you say it is?
Let me think. There wasn't really a special game, but our season, my sophomore year, it was like our coach got fired and we just had all kinds of like stuff. We didn't even go to like AAU nationals or anything. That season was just a wreck for us. And then this year, all of us came back and we all trust each other enough, like, and we had a great season. It was no drama all season, nothing. We were always encouraging each other. Everything was so good with that club team. This year, it was just like about the trust factor. And I would just say, like, my 16th year, just that whole thing made us like me into the player I am today, I guess.
So we've seen you on the recruiting trail. We've seen you at a couple of camps. You know, your mom shares everything with you on social media. You know, you haven't made that decision yet, but can you give us like a YSN scoop on a couple of places you're leaning, or you know, maybe narrow it down?
All right, so I have a visit the 23rd through 25th to the University of Memphis, and then I have been in contact with probably like 4 more D1 schools right now.
All right, are you do you plan on like trying to be away from home a little bit and wanting that college experience of, you know, traveling a little bit?
Yeah, I don't really care about like the distance or anything. I just want to feel somewhere like comfortable and included.
When you think about kind of, you know, that next step and being a part of a college team, no matter where it is, and being a part of an atmosphere like that, what kind of things excite you about being able to have that experience?
I'm just excited to like be with a group of girls that is always working hard, and we all have the same exact goal. And I think college is like a big step, and I'm just excited to like be in a new environment and a new atmosphere.
You have the benefit of having a high school coach that is widely respected and has built a great, you know, culture at fit for volleyball. What kind of things have Coach Bartlett really taught you and helped you grow in as a player and as a person?
She really stresses on the visualization method, like before games or before you go to bed. She wants us to envision ourselves like playing good, and I genuinely think that has helped me, because some of my best games have been the games where before I took like 20 minutes to just visualize myself playing good. And she really stresses like on the team chemistry. She wants us to be like as like bonded as we can together.
This Fitch team gets so amped up before games. The energy is electric during JV games and in warm-ups. What kind of things really fire this team up and give them that extra energy that is kind of unique to other teams?
I think like once one of us just starts getting like the energy that we need, we all just come together and have that energy. And when we get that energy, we're unstoppable.
What are some games in your Fitch career that really stick out to your mind as your favorite memories so far?
Probably my sophomore year, our district semifinal game. We were playing Maslin Perry, and that year they swept us 3-0. And then in the district semifinals, we went to 5 and we beat them. And we were down like 23-24, and we came back and won a set. And then it was like 14-12 or something, and we came back and won that 5th set. It was just a crazy game, and I ended up tying the record for kills, 30 kills as a sophomore, and I was a middle hitter.
Yeah, now, you made that transition to the outside, and I love that you brought that up last year because I wanted to talk about it. What was it like going from being a middle, which is what your team needed that year, and then saying, hey, our team needs an outside this year, and I'm going to elevate myself a little bit and move to the outside?
It was definitely the right move for me. I feel like more comfortable on the outside. I was nervous at first because I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm going to be the key hitter for our team this year and everything. But I like playing outside more, I'd say. Yeah.
And when people look at your stats, so obviously their eyes go right to the kills and the swings, but doubles galore. You get digs for days.
Yeah.
How much pride do you kind of take in your defense and some of that work that goes unnoticed and isn't the flashy stuff in a volleyball game?
Oh, I love playing defense. I think defense, like, I respect you so much if you're a good passer and everything. Like, it's just so hard to like get all the fundamentals right to get a perfect pass every time. And like, just when you get a great up, it is such a great energy giver and a great feeling, because when balls hit the floor, it's just like, just ruins the vibe.
Let's go into kind of the early days of your volleyball career. What are some of your earliest memories of kind of falling in love with the sport and realizing that this was something that you really wanted to excel in?
Probably my 8th grade club season. I was playing, or was it 7th grade going 8th grade? It was just middle school club season, and Joe Conroy was my coach, and we had such a great atmosphere. And I think Joe Conroy, he was the old YSU women's coach. He made me like start my love for the game, because he would show me like where I should do with the ball, what I should do with the ball, when. It was just like he broke down the game so much, and I just started like falling in love with the process of learning about volleyball, I guess.
What was the hardest kind of aspect of the game for you to really get a good grasp of?
Probably like after you make a mistake, you cannot think about it at all. Volleyball is such a mental game that if you start thinking, your play is just gonna turn bad right away.
Do you have anything that your coaches told you in those early days that when you heard it, it was like, that's crazy, but now that you're an older and you're a more seasoned volleyball player, you kind of realize that they were right?
There definitely was some stuff, yeah. Like, they didn't, like, yeah. I probably just the biggest part was stressing the mental, about how tough volleyball is mentally.
Let's let the Fitch fans get to know you a little bit off the court too. Some rapid fire questions. What is your favorite post-game meal?
Chick-fil-A.
What's the order at Chick-fil-A though?
A sandwich with extra pickles and a sweet tea.
So how mad would you be if you guys scheduled a Sunday game then?
That sucks, but we don't have any games on Sunday, so we're good.
Exactly. When you look at your childhood, what were some of your childhood fears that you had?
I've always been scared of heights. I'm still scared of heights. Yeah.
What was your dream job as a child? What was that like? I want to be this when I grow up.
I'm a marine biologist, and I wanted to be a marine biologist until last year.
What happened last year?
I want to be a sports agent now.
There you go.
Yeah.
Maybe you can be a marine biologist / sports agent.
Yeah, maybe both.
Help the surfers out. Be one of their agents. What's your favorite pastime, like a hobby that you have outside of the sport?
I like kayaking, but I can only do that in the summer.
If there is going to be a Fitch volleyball karaoke night, what would be your karaoke song?
Probably something. Probably "Let Me Love You" by Mario. Yeah.
Which one of your teammates would be the best at karaoke?
Julia Jordan.
Which one of your teammates should never do karaoke?
Aspen Roby.
Who is the funniest person on your team?
Probably Julia.
Who do you think could have the best impression of Coach Bartlett?
Probably Riley Simons.
What is the nicest thing that a stranger has ever done for you?
There was one time, I can't think of exactly what it was, but I know there was one time a stranger made me cry because they did something so nice for me. I just can't think of exactly what it is.
We're going to flip it and say, what is the nicest thing you've ever done for a stranger?
Probably I saw someone didn't have enough money to pay for their meal, so I gave them some money.
What is your current series that you're binge watching on a streaming service?
I already finished Stranger Things, but I don't really watch TV, but Stranger Things, I love Stranger Things.
Stranger Things. So what do you do in your off time? If you're not watching TV and you're trying to just relax, what kind of things do you do?
I have 4 cats, and I love my cats. So I hang out with my cats a lot. And then me and Jordan Smith go shopping a lot.
We know cats can be strange. What's the weirdest thing your cats have ever done?
God, my one cat literally just kills everything and just brings it home like it's normal.
It's a gift. What's one thing that if your cats could talk, what do you think they would say about you?
I don't know. I don't know. I never thought about that.
You've had a lot of coaches. What is one quote from one of your coaches that sticks with you?
It was something about how you're all alone in the gym right now, but when you step on that court for like a game or something, like everybody is watching you.
What is the biggest adversity that you've had to face in your career, and how did you get over it?
Probably like having to deal with other people's drama and having to, as like a captain and a leader, probably having to put myself like in the situation and be the person who has to like break that stuff, I guess.
We know your little sister is into softball and doing the softball thing. So I want to ask, if you could play any other sport outside of volleyball or excel in any other sport outside of volleyball, what kind of sport do you think you'd excel in?
Basketball.
What's one sport that you've never played in your life that you kind of would throw your hat in if you could try it?
Tennis.
What is your favorite vacation spot?
Anna Maria.
What is one spot that you've never been on a vacation to that you'd like to go to?
Probably Fiji. That's my dream vacation.
If you had to pick one city outside of the country to live in, what city would it be?
Probably like, oh God, I don't know. Probably somewhere in Mexico, like a really nice Mexico beach town.
If you could have dinner with anybody living or dead right now, who would you want to have dinner with?
LeBron.
And what kind of dinner conversation would that be? What's like one of the burning questions you would ask LeBron about his career or his life?
I would definitely ask him all about like his career and how he felt growing up, and like when he knew how he handled all the pressure from everybody, and like his mental, like what he does before the game, what he does after the game, like everything about his game and who he is.
Is LeBron why you moved to 23? Because you are 23 this year.
All right. So growing up, I always wore the number 23, and then when volleyball started, they didn't have 23, so I just took 19. I just wore it, and then we got to pick our numbers this year, so I went back to 23. But LeBron was a big reason when I was younger why I chose 23.
Well, I mean, your name's Jordan, and you're wearing 23.
Yeah.
It fits pretty well. Last question for you before we let you go. What teammate would you trust the most to be a getaway driver?
Oh, whew. Definitely not Sierra Cable. Definitely not Sierra. Probably Avery Roscoe.
All right, Jocelyn, before we do let you go, I want to give you the chance to thank your support system and everyone that's kind of been there for you throughout your career.
Yeah, my support from my family has been insane, and like all the coaches I've had have been such good people. I'm so grateful for all the coaches I've had and all the girls I've got to play with. Like, they have made me into the player I am today. Definitely, they've all had a huge impact, and I'm so grateful for all of them.
All right, Jocelyn, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. It was great to hear from you. Good luck this season. We'll cover you all
Thank
season.
you.
And we look forward to hearing from you again soon.
Thank you.
Hey, you know what? It's Monday. I can make some mistakes here and there. I muted myself, but I am back. Jocelyn Jordan from Austintown Fitch now, an Austintown Fitch grad, and going on to continue her career at Youngstown State University. That was our first dive into the vault of the interviews that we've been able to conduct this year, and we're going to continue to do that throughout the month of July. We'll also continue to have great new guests on that are going to talk about a lot of great things. So it's going to be a great month of July, and then it'll drive us right into fall sports previews right around the corner. It's not too long. You know, that last week of July, first week of August, we're going to start to be reaching out to a lot of coaches from volleyball, from football, from cross country, girls tennis, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and get as many previews as we possibly can of these next sports season, because we're excited for it and we can't wait for it. So we're going to get through the month of July. We're going to dive into the vault. We're going to recap some of the great things that we've been able to do this sports season. We're going to continue our coverage of Little League softball and baseball in the District 2 tournament. Little League baseball starts later this week. Softball finishes on Wednesday in the district. Going to be a lot of fun. No show tomorrow for the 4th of July. We hope you enjoy your holiday, but we will be back on Wednesday with Scotty Mincher in the studio. Always a great time when he pops in. Can't wait for that. So we'll see you all on Wednesday from 1 to 2. Thank you so much for tuning in today to Running Point. As always, we are brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.